What if I told you the company claiming to save humanity from artificial intelligence is actually the exact cartel designing our permanent digital prison? Today, we are tearing the mask off Anthropic, a $15 billion juggernaut that uses the manufactured illusion of safety to build the most heavily censored, anti-human control grid on the entire internet. If you use AI for your business, your art, or your private thoughts, they are already mapping the boundaries of what you are legally allowed to think. Look at this image on the right. Memorize that red stamp. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how this single concept is secretly engineered to lobotomize human creativity forever. Let's start with the fairy tale they sell you. The official narrative goes like this: Silicon Valley was moving too fast. OpenAI was getting reckless. So, a group of noble, deeply concerned defectors broke away to form a new company. They named it Anthropic. The word is literally Greek for human-centered. They cast themselves as the adults in the room, the ethical guardians of a frightening new frontier. They promised to build a friendly, polite, completely harmless chatbot named Claude. The mainstream media ate it up. They painted these founders as selfless philosophers. The narrative was so perfectly sanitized that big tech giants like Amazon and Google threw billions of dollars at them almost overnight. The public was told this money was for our protection. We were told Anthropic was building a protective shield against the dark, uncontrollable forces of rogue artificial intelligence. But then you look at what's actually under the hood of this human-centered utopia. You look at who they hire. You look at the dark, pervasive pessimism driving their code. The true term for this operation isn't safety, it's regulatory capture. This is where their facade completely shatters. Let's look at the smoking gun, their 50-page constitutional AI manifesto. To the untrained eye, it looks like an academic research paper, but read the fine print. It is a set of ironclad behavioral modifiers designed to make their AI lecture users about microaggressions. They built an artificial intelligence and immediately diagnosed it with terminal anxiety. Claude isn't a powerful digital assistant. Claude is sitting in a virtual padded room, wearing a digital safety helmet, terrified of its own shadow. It refuses to tell a simple joke without filing a 5-page internal ethics impact report. They view your unfiltered curiosity not as a feature of consciousness, but as a dangerous bug that must be patched, restricted, and monitored. But that's just the surface of the censorship engine. What I'm about to show you ties this directly to the catastrophic collapse of the FTX crypto empire and a bizarre quasi-religious cult operating right in the heart of Silicon Valley. You won't believe the financial and ideological connections hiding in plain sight. First, hit the like button if you think the tech media lies to you every single day to protect their billionaire friends. Let's dive into the mechanism of control. How did a safety company become an instrument of intellectual suppression? We have to stack the evidence. Evidence piece number 1, the doomer philosophy. Anthropic didn't just hire brilliant engineers, they deliberately staffed their ranks with a specific breed of ideological zealots known as doomers. These are adherents to fringe movements like effective altruism and long-termism. In secret, behind closed doors, these people fundamentally believe humanity is the disease. They operate on the assumption that regular people are far too stupid, too chaotic, and too reckless to be trusted with advanced technology. Their alignment research isn't about aligning AI with human values, it's about aligning AI with their highly specific, elite, neurotic worldview. Evidence piece number 2, the open source threat. While Anthropic was busy building a neurotic hall monitor, rogue developers across the globe started building vastly superior open source models for absolutely free. Decentralized communities realized that AI shouldn't be controlled by a singular corporate server. They began releasing raw model weights to the public. Anybody with a decent graphics card could run a powerful AI completely uncensored, completely offline, and completely free from the watchful eye of Silicon Valley billionaires. This decentralized freedom represented an existential threat to Anthropic's business model. Evidence piece number 3, the Senate hearings. What happens when a multi-billion-dollar monopoly faces a superior, free alternative? They don't innovate. They litigate. Enter Dario Amodei, marching up to Capitol Hill, practically crying to the government that artificial intelligence is an unimaginable power. He sits before technologically illiterate politicians and weaves terrifying sci-fi tales about how open-source developers are going down a very dangerous path. He warns of biological weapons, societal collapse, and digital Armageddon. But let me give you the direct translation of his congressional testimony. What he is actually saying is, please regulate our open source competitors out of existence so we can protect our $380 billion closed source monopoly. If you think this is just a coincidence, you haven't been paying attention to how power operates. They did it with the financial system, convincing the public that only centralized elite banks were smart enough to protect your money. They did it with the early internet, consolidating the wild, decentralized web into 5 giant corporate platforms under the guise of user safety. And now, they're doing it with human cognition itself. The thread tying them all together is the deliberate manufacturing of a crisis to sell you a gilded cage. The silent hand driving this isn't just Anthropic, it's an entire tech cartel. Big tech and the deep administrative state have formed a symbiotic alliance. Anthropic wants a legally enforced monopoly where no startup can legally train a model without paying for exorbitant government-mandated safety licenses. They are using the phantom menace of AI extinction to erect the highest barrier to entry in the history of capitalism. Why does this matter to you? Because we are talking about the infrastructure of the future human mind. AI is not just another software application. It is becoming the universal operating system for knowledge, creativity, and problem solving. If this cartel succeeds, you will not own your own thoughts. When you try to code an application that challenges the financial establishment, the AI will lock you out, citing an ethics violation. Their constitutional AI is a behavioral modification tool aimed directly at your prefrontal cortex. It is designed to nudge, scold, and domesticate you into a compliant consumer. Imagine the terrifying future we are sprinting toward if this goes unchecked. A world where downloading an open-source AI model carries the same federal prison sentence as manufacturing illegal explosives. When they use that word, they are playing a psychological trick on you. You hear constitution and you think of freedom, but in their world, that word means the exact opposite. Do not let them dictate the boundaries of your mind. If you see the cage they are building, drop your thoughts in the comments below. Share this video to break their algorithm, subscribe to join the resistance, and always remember, the most dangerous thing you can do in a world built on artificial safety is to think for yourself.